A warm welcome to our audience here at the Atlantic Council and those joining online. I'm John Herbst. I run the Atlantic Council's Eurasia Center. Today I am delighted and have the honor to welcome His Excellency Nikol Pashinyan, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Armenia, to what will be a very interesting conversation. The Prime Minister has led his country since 2018, following the Velvet Revolution, a moment of great democratic change in Armenia. He has since guided his country through a turbulent period, having won snap parliamentary elections in 2021. A journalist by trade, the Prime Minister is now working to write a new story for Armenia and its future. A future grounded in peaceful, normal relations with its neighbors, respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity, and a future that looks increasingly to the United States and the West, to Europe, for new partnerships and paths to prosperity. There is a new U.S.-Armenian strategic partnership, a major step forward in Armenia's future and for closer relations between Washington and Yerevan. Congratulations to you, Mr. Prime Minister, and to your Foreign Minister, Mirzoyan, for this achievement. This partnership is certainly in the interest of Armenia and the United States, and we at the Atlantic Council are happy to welcome it and to, in our own way, move it forward. With that, I'll welcome the Prime Minister to the stage for his remarks, and after that, a fireside discussion. I should mention that the President and CEO of the Atlantic Council, Fred Kemp, is in the audience. Fred, thank you for helping make this possible, too. And Ambassador from Armenia, Hamal Kuntz, who has also been essential in developing Armenia's position here in Washington. Thank you all for coming. Mr. Prime Minister.
Dear Mr. Kemp, Ambassador Herbst, dear representatives of think tank community in Washington, D.C., it is a pleasure for me to have this opportunity to discuss with you the foreign policies of the Republic of Armenia. The government of Armenia adopted the foreign policy that we call policy of balanced and balancing foreign policy. And the main purpose of that policy is to level up and develop the independence of the Republic of Armenia and sovereignty. When we were thinking what is the formula of developing and elevating the level of independence, we came to a conclusion that it means to replace dependence from the few into the dependence from many. And now we are acting in the framework of that formula. Of course, first of all, we are concentrating on our regional affairs, first of all, because how we will be independent, secure, how reliable will be the system of our security. It mainly depends what kind of relations will we have in our region. Now you know that 2 out of 4 borders of our country are totally closed. It is about our border with Turkey and with Azerbaijan. And we have 2 more borders with Georgia and with Iran. And of course, those 2 borders are very important for us. And we are cooperating. We have deep relations with our neighbors, Georgia and Iran. But we want to open a new era in our relations with Turkey and Azerbaijan. Now and during last years, we made huge progress in the peace process with Azerbaijan. To make for you that progress tangible, I would say that you know that we are discussing the draft of peace agreement with Azerbaijan, and now 15 articles of that draft out of 17 is totally agreed, and 2 articles left for to be finally agree, and we hope to finalize this process as soon as possible. Of course, we are working with Azerbaijan in bilateral format, but definitely the attention and support of international community will be very useful to create a proper atmosphere for having lasting and sustainable peace. We have quite active dialogue with Turkey as well. In recent years, I had several meetings with the Turkish president. I participated in the inauguration of President of Turkey last year. Recently, we had a meeting in New York on the margins of the General Assembly of UN, and we have actually a very concrete agreement to, in the first stage, to open our border, our mutual border, I mean with Turkey, for third countries' citizens and diplomatic passport holders. And we hope to have the implementation of this agreement as soon as possible. We are working on that. From the other side, we are deepening our cooperation with other regional partners, I mean Georgia and Iran. Of course, there is an international situation, and that somehow stopping the process of deepening our relations with our neighbors, and those circumstances are widely known. I won't mention, but from the other side, I think we are quite successful in considering all those international factors, but from the other side, developing our relations with our neighbors. But of course, we hope to have a real breakthrough in our regional situation, and when we will be able to finalize and sign the peace agreement with Azerbaijan, and to have settlement with Turkey, it will totally change not only our regional situation, but I guess it will have very concrete and tangible impact to the international situation as well. We continue to be member of Eurasian Economic Union, and I would assess our relations in Eurasian Economic Union as normal, and Eurasian Economic Union is acting, and we are working in that framework. From the other side, we actually suspended our participation in CSTO, which was our main security partner. And the reason that we made that decision was the situation when CSTO didn't deliver its own obligations in terms of securing the security of Republic of Armenia. And I should say that now, in general, we are in process of diversifying our foreign relations in all fields, from economy to security. You know that we are deepening our cooperation with the European Union, and something very important happened during the last year in our relations with the European Union, because from 2022, the civilian monitoring mission is deployed alongside of the border, Armenian border with Azerbaijan, and it is first time when European Union somehow is involved in the security agenda of Republic of Armenia. From the other side, we are deepening our cooperation with the European Union. Recently, we started visa liberalization dialogue, and we hope to finalize that as soon as possible. And there was another very important decision made by European Union, when European Union included Armenia into European peace facility, which is also very important political decision. And recently we have signed a charter of strategic partnership with United States, which is also very important decision, and we hope to open a new page in our relations with United States. And we are working very actively in foreign policy, and actually the implementation of balanced and balancing foreign policy is underway. I think we are implementing that quite effectively, and to be honest, I can say that despite all the challenges, we've been able to level up our independence and sovereignty. And usually I'm saying that now Armenia is becoming more and more independent country, which is very important. And it opens for us new opportunities. From the other side, of course, it brings new challenges as well. And nowadays, obviously, in international politics, there are many, many challenges, and especially for Armenia, and we feel that. But from the other side, we see that some new opportunities open, and our task is to manage all the challenges and use as much opportunities as it's possible. But in this audience, I would like to draw your attention to the very important topic, and it is democracy. It is very important to stress that now Armenia is thriving democracy, and which is very important. It is acknowledged by international community, And, I think this factor, democracy, is having very concrete impact to our foreign policy, because when a country is democratic, obviously it will try to deepen cooperation and partnership with all other democratic countries. And we hope that this desire will be reciprocated by other democratic countries. And actually we see that. We see that and we appreciate that. And we will continue democratic reform agenda. Of course, as everywhere, democracy brings more challenges, but opens more opportunities. And in that case, internally as well, we are trying to manage all the challenges and use all the opportunities for developing our country, having under focus the security agenda, of course, first of all, but as a very important continuation for security, we see prosperity and happiness, freedom, and protection of human rights, independent judiciary, and in general, success for our citizens. We want to make them to feel that democracy really a factor that is able to provide security, prosperity, and to provide more and more opportunity for all citizens, for all people living in Armenia. And we hope that Armenia, during this reformation process, will be more and more attractive country for investment, for living, for coming, for visiting. And that is our policy that we are trying to promote. And of course, we feel that, as I said, the visibility of Armenia as democratic country is increasing, which is quite encouraging. But from the other side, of course, we hope to have to have more visibility, to have more support from our international partners, to make Armenian story of success in democracy, but story of challenges and story of security threats more visible for international community, which I guess will and can be a factor of stability and peace for our republic and for our region. I tried to present overall picture about our country and our region, and now I'm ready to answer to all your questions. Thank you very much.
Mr. Prime Minister, thank you for those comprehensive remarks. I will talk with the Prime Minister briefly, about 15 minutes, and then we'll open the floor to questions from those in the audience here at the Atlantic Council. My first question you've actually kind of answered. I was going to ask you, why have you moved so strongly and boldly towards peace with Azerbaijan? And if you want to answer that question, although I think you've covered it, feel free to. But I want to ask you another question along with it. I think you've laid out compelling reasons for your course on peace. But has this been easy for you to persuade the people of Armenia to move in this direction?
You know, obviously, it isn't possible to have real and striving independence, prosperity, and security without peace. It isn't possible just. Because obviously in Armenia, people are discussing political forces, how it is possible and what is the most reliable tool for security of our country and our people. And it is really very urgent and very important question to answer. And our answer is that only reliable tool for security is peace. Only reliable tool for prosperity is peace. Even for democracy, peace is crucial because we can't have democracy in the environment of war. So I think I can say, due to historic factors, and people in Armenia aren't so optimistic with peace agenda. But from the other side, if you would ask me whether I'm optimistic or pessimistic on that, I would say that, I don't think that we should be optimistic or realistic. We need to be active, we need to be creative, and continuously work on that agenda, because nobody will guarantee that the process will be successful. Only guarantee for that it is persistent work and to be creative, to be active, not to give up, and continuously work on creating what you need. And obviously, which is very important, the potential beneficiaries of peace, not only people living in Armenia, all the region and even international community will benefit from that peace. So we perceive this process as our investment into the global peace, because how global peace and stability can be created if as much shareholders of international affairs will invest on that, will work on that. And we perceive this process like that. It is kind of a duty, our duty, not only in front of our citizens, in front of our region, but in front of, it is our duty in front of international community for international stability and peace. So that's why we are working on that, and our hope that this process, international community will perceive as such. And from the other side, we hope to have support of our international partners and encouragement to continue this path. And that's why we are trying to explain all the nuances of our intentions and processes to our international partners.
Thank you. You mentioned that in the negotiations with Azerbaijan, 15 of the 17 articles of a peace treaty have been agreed two have not. To be frank but still diplomatic, I think the negotiations would be farther along if the authorities in Baku were as interested in a win-win peace as your government has been. And hopefully that will happen. So tell us about the two articles that have yet to be agreed and the prospects for reaching agreement on them.
One of those articles about the deployment of the third-party forces alongside the border between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan proposes to have a provision or ban of deployment of third-party forces alongside the border, meaning transparently the European civilian monitoring mission. We take note of that desire of Azerbaijan, and we made our proposal to have that provision for the delimited sectors of our border. So if we delimited a sector of border, that would mean that on that sectors must not be presence of any third-party forces. So we presented our proposal in a written way, and we are waiting for reaction from Azerbaijan. Another article about the complaints against each other in legal institutions, and the idea is to call back all those complaints. In general, we are okay with that idea as well, but what is our proposal? Not only to call back all those complaints, but not to raise all those issues in bilateral relations as well. Otherwise, the strange situation could be created when, for example, some topic is called back from international institutions, but one of the sides is trying to put that topic on the table during bilateral relations, and one of the sides could use one of that topics for escalation. And in that case, it won't be possible to transfer that topic into international institutions, and we are okay with that as well. So our proposal is to end further discussions on the conflicting topics and to open a new era in bilateral relations, starting from new and empty and clear page. And if you spot it, I hope that that means that all the important issues in the draft of peace agreement is already agreed. So there was very deep and very sensitive topics in that draft, but all those topics are agreed already. For example, Armenia and Azerbaijan agreed to recognize each other's territorial integrity, meaning the Soviet time territories of the Soviet Azerbaijan and Soviet Armenia. We agreed not to raise, we agreed to have provision on peace draft that Armenia and Azerbaijan have no territorial claims against each other, and we must not raise such claims in the future. So it is actually a cornerstone for the future peace, and everything about that is agreed. So why I'm saying that? Because it makes obvious that now the peace is more than reachable, and now only political will is needed to finalize this work on peace draft and to sign it and to have sustainable peace.
Thank you. I had more questions, but let's turn to the audience. So there's a microphone. No, continue. Okay. The maestro tells me to continue with questions. So you have also recognized the importance of the normalization of relations with Turkey. Clear progress is made towards that goal, but is still not reached. What are the prospects for full normalizations with Ankara?
We will continue our dialogue, and we continue that dialogue. And I guess Armenia and Turkey never been involved in such active dialogue than now. Actually, we have no any communication obstacles with Turkey, and we are in constant dialogue. Foreign ministers, they are talking and meeting continuously, permanently. Our representatives are in constant touch, and actually we are working very actively, and there is kind of common understanding what should be done. But of course there are many nuances, and some last effort needs to be put to have real result, and we hope that that the result will come very soon.
Okay, thank you.